Picture this situation. You walk into your bank, proud, making a deposit, thinking your money is safe and quietly growing. But here is the truth. Your money does not sit still. The bank grabs it immediately and puts it to work for its own benefit. Loans, investments, and profits you will never see. Meanwhile, your savings lose value every single day because of inflation rates and interest rates designed to benefit them, not you. The financial system was not built to make you wealthy. It was built to keep you dependent. In this video, we are going to reveal 14 financial secrets that banks do not want you to know. From how they actually profit from your deposits to the tricks they use to keep you in debt. So, pay close attention, because after understanding these secrets, you will never look at your bank the same way again. And when you hear about secret number 11, you will be completely shocked and finally understand why your banker always seems so friendly and warm toward you. So go ahead and hit like, and let us start with secret number 1, which will already give you a solid wake-up call. Secret number 1. Keeping money in the bank actually makes you poorer. Most people believe that putting money into a bank account is the safest and smartest way to grow their wealth. You deposit your savings and expect them to grow gradually over time. Maybe you think the bank is paying you interest, so at least you're getting something out of it. But here is the truth. The interest you receive is almost meaningless compared to the money you are actually losing. Imagine you deposit $1,000 into a savings account. The bank promises 0.5% interest. That means after one full year, you earned $5. But inflation, which is the natural rise in prices every year, is sitting around 3%. That means the real value of your $1,000 is shrinking by $30. You gained $5, but you lost $30. You are already down $25 just for trusting the bank. Now scale that up. Imagine keeping $10,000 in the bank for 10 years. You might earn a few $100s in interest. But inflation will eat away thousands of dollars from your purchasing power. Your money is safer under a mattress than in a savings account, because at least there it is not being quietly destroyed by inflation disguised as security. Banks want you to believe they are doing you a favor, but in reality, they take your deposits and lend them out at much higher interest rates. You get 0.5%, while they charge someone else 20% on a credit card. Can you see who wins this game? Secret number 2. Banks create money out of thin air. Most people believe only the government can create money. They think the central bank prints it, and that is the end of the story. But here is the hidden truth. Every single bank in the country creates money legally, and they do it every day. Imagine this. You deposit $1,000 in your bank. That money should just sit there, right? Wrong. By law, the bank only needs to keep a small fraction of your deposits as reserves. The rest they can lend out. Let us say they keep 100 and lend out 900. But here is the trick. When you log into your account, you still see your $1,000 sitting there. At the same time, the person who borrowed the 900 sees that money in their account. Suddenly, there are $1,900 in existence instead of 1,000. The bank just created $900 out of nothing. Multiply this by millions of deposits every single day, and you realize that banks are literally manufacturing money that never existed before. And of course, they charge interest on money they invented. That means banks profit not just from your savings, but from the illusion of money itself. They do not want you thinking too hard about this, because if everyone understood how this worked, there would probably be a revolution before tomorrow morning. And there could be a revolution even after you hear secret number 8, secret number 3. Credit cards are the bank's secret weapon. Do you have a credit card? Most people do. They are convenient. They let you buy things even when you do not have the cash. But credit cards are not designed to help you. They are designed to trap you. Think about this. The average credit card interest rate is around 20%. That means if you owe $1,000 and cannot pay it off this month, next month your debt grows by $200. And if you only make the minimum payment, you will still be in debt for years. 70% of people with credit card debt admit they cannot pay it off in full this year, and most will carry it for years. Some do not even know when they will finally pay it down. This is exactly what banks want. They do not make money when you pay your balance in full. They make money when you get stuck. Let us take a simple example. You buy a $500 television on your credit card. If you only pay the minimum every month, you could easily end up paying $700 or even $1,000 for that television. The bank wins. You lose. Credit cards are not free money. They are weapons carefully designed to look like a gift but built to trap you in endless payments. Secret number 4. The richer you are, the less you pay. This one might make you angry. If you are struggling financially and ask for a loan, the bank will check your credit score, check your income, and probably hand you a high interest rate. But if you are wealthy, they will give you the lowest rate possible, sometimes even lower than inflation. Take Robert Caldwell, for example. When he purchased his $6 million home, he could have paid cash easily, but instead he took out a mortgage at just a little over 1%. At the time, inflation was running higher than that, so in reality, he was borrowing money for free. Meanwhile, if an ordinary worker applies for a mortgage, the bank might charge 4% or more. That is 4 times what the wealthy buyer pays. The person who struggles gets punished with high costs. The person who does not need help gets rewarded with free money. Banks call this risk management. They argue that lending to a millionaire is safe, but lending to someone living paycheck to paycheck is risky. But the outcome is cruel. The poor pay more and stay poor. The rich pay less and keep getting richer. Secret number 5. Debt is a tool for the wealthy. Most people fear debt. They think it is dangerous, and they are right if you misuse it. But the wealthy know a secret. Debt can actually make you richer if you know how to play the game. Here is how it works. Imagine you borrow $100,000 at a 2% interest rate to buy a house. Over the next year, home prices rise by 20% because of inflation. Now that house is worth $120,000. You sell it, pay back the $100,000 plus $2,000 in interest, and walk away with an $18,000 profit. That is the power of using debt when inflation is on your side. Wealthy people borrow millions or even billions at low rates. Then they sit back and let inflation drive up the value of the assets they bought. That is how the rich multiply money without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, the average person borrows money for a car or to cover bills. These are things that lose value over time. That is why debt crushes ordinary people but builds fortunes for the rich. Banks understand this perfectly. That is why they happily lend to millionaires at almost 0%. If this is opening your eyes, make sure you follow this channel so you never miss a video like this one. We break down financial truths that most people never hear. Secret number 6. Banks help the rich avoid taxes. You often hear about billionaires who pay little or no taxes. But how is that even possible? The answer lies in a system that banks quietly help maintain. Imagine you own billions in company shares, like many of the world's wealthiest individuals. If you sell those shares to get cash, you must pay a massive tax bill, sometimes 20% or more. On $100 billion, that is $20 billion in taxes. Nobody wants to pay that. So what do they do instead? They walk into a bank and say, "Look, I have all these shares as collateral. Lend me $1 billion." The bank says yes, gladly. They lend the money at 1% interest. Now the billionaire can buy yachts, private jets, and mansions. They never sold their shares. They never paid taxes. It is a perfectly legal loophole. And banks are happy to provide it because they make money on the loan. Meanwhile, ordinary people like you and me do not get such offers. If you want money, you have to sell what you own and pay taxes immediately. This is why you see billionaires still taking out mortgages even though they could easily pay cash. It is not because they need the loan. It is because it saves them from taxes and keeps their wealth growing quietly in the background. Secret number 7. Offshore accounts hide trillions. Have you ever wondered how much wealth is hidden in secret accounts? The number is shocking. Experts estimate that more than $8 trillion are stashed away in tax havens around the world. That is 10% of global economic output hidden in places like Bermuda, the Cayman Islands, and Switzerland. But this is not just criminals hiding their money. These are the largest corporations and wealthiest individuals on Earth. Companies legally shift their profits to countries with 0% tax rates. They set up tiny offices that are nothing more than mailboxes. Then they claim that most of their income was earned there instead of in the countries where they actually sell their products. The result is billions of dollars in avoided taxes, all thanks to legal loopholes that banks and tax specialists help design. To put this in perspective, imagine you make $100 million in profit in the United States. Normally, you would owe $21 million in taxes, but instead you create a company in Bermuda and license all your patents to it. Now you pretend you owe $70 million in fees to that Bermuda company. Suddenly, your profit in the United States looks like only $30 million. Your tax bill drops to just $6 million, and the $70 million sits offshore, completely tax-free. This is how trillions disappear into hidden corners of the world. Ordinary citizens pay their taxes without question. The wealthy quietly move money across borders with the help of banks. And if you did not expect that, I am certain you have never heard of secret number 12. Secret number 8. Your mortgage makes the bank rich, not you. Many people believe buying a house with a mortgage is the best financial decision of their lives. They think renting is just throwing money away, while buying means building real wealth. But the truth is not that simple. Let us take an example. You buy a $300,000 home with a 30-year mortgage at 4.5% interest. Your monthly payment looks manageable, but over 30 years, you do not just pay $300,000. You pay more than double. By the time you finish, you may have paid close to $600,000. Half of that goes straight into the bank's pocket as interest. And it does not stop there. You also pay property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs, replacing a roof, repainting walls, fixing plumbing. Over decades, these costs add up to tens of thousands of dollars more. Meanwhile, the bank sits quietly collecting its guaranteed interest every single month. Yes, your home may increase in value. But remember, housing markets can also crash, as they did in 2008. When that happens, banks still demand your payments. If you cannot keep up, they take your home and sell it. They win either way. Mortgages are sold to you as a path to freedom. But for many people, they are simply chains that lock you into decades of payments while banks profit every single month. Secret number 9. Hidden fees are everywhere. Have you ever noticed that no matter what you do with your bank account, there always seem to be fees? Maintenance fees, overdraft fees, transfer fees, ATM fees. Even when you think you are being careful, there is always some small charge slipping through. Banks have perfected the art of nickel and dimming their customers. One report estimated that banks in the United States alone collect over $30 billion a year just from overdraft fees. That is money taken from people who are already struggling to make ends meet. Think about it. You accidentally spend $10 more than what is in your account. Instead of rejecting the transaction, the bank approves it and then hits you with a $35 overdraft fee. You just paid $35 for borrowing $10. That is an effective interest rate of 350%. And it does not end there. Some banks even charge inactivity fees if you do not use your account enough, or foreign transaction fees when you travel. All these hidden charges add up to billions for the banks, and most customers do not even notice because the amounts look small on paper. But for the bank, those small amounts multiplied across millions of people become rivers of profit. Secret number 10. The system is designed to keep you in debt. Have you ever wondered why interest rates on savings are so low, while interest rates on loans and credit cards are so high? The answer is simple. Banks do not want you saving money. They want you borrowing. The entire system is tilted this way. If you save, you earn less than 1%. If you borrow, you pay 10, 20, sometimes 30%. So the incentive is always to spend first and worry later. Look at student loans. Millions of young people start adult life already buried under tens of thousands of dollars of debt. Banks love this because it means decades of guaranteed interest payments. The same goes for car loans, payday loans, and personal loans. Debt has become a product that banks sell to you every single day. And once you are in debt, it is very hard to get out. Even bankruptcy does not erase certain kinds of debt like student loans. That means banks can keep you chained for life. This is why banks market credit cards and loans so aggressively. Because debt is their gold mine. As long as you are stuck in it, you are their perfect customer. Drop a comment below and tell us which of these secrets surprised you the most. We read every single comment and we want to know what you think. Secret number 11. Banks gamble with your money. When you deposit money, you probably think the bank keeps it safe. But banks do not just sit on your deposits. They invest them, sometimes in very risky ways. Remember the 2008 financial crisis? It happened because banks were packaging bad loans and selling them as if they were good investments. They gave high ratings to junk. When everything collapsed, millions lost their jobs, their homes, their savings. But the banks received government bailouts, and some executives even collected massive bonuses. This is the dark truth. Your money does not just sit in a vault. It goes into markets where banks chase higher profits. If their bets go wrong, the government often steps in to rescue them. But ordinary people are left to suffer the consequences. So, when banks say they are safe, remember this. They are only as safe as the next financial gamble they make behind closed doors. Secret number 12. The poor pay more for the same things. Here's a strange fact. The less money you have, the more things cost you. Banks play a big role in this. Take credit, for example. If you are rich, you borrow at 1 or 2%. If you are poor, you might pay 20% or more. Over a lifetime, that difference means you pay hundreds of thousands of extra dollars just to access the same opportunities. Even basic services cost more. Check cashing fees, prepaid debit card fees, payday loan fees. These are targeted at people who do not qualify for traditional banking. So the people who can least afford it end up paying the most. It is like a tax on poverty. A system that quietly drains the poor while giving discounts to the wealthy. And banks are right at the center of it. This is heartbreaking, is it not? Do you feel betrayed by the banks? Well, know that secret number 14 will be the hardest of all. Secret number 13. Banks do not want you financially educated. Have you ever noticed that schools rarely teach personal finance? Most people grow up knowing algebra and history, but have no idea how credit works or how to invest. Do you think that is an accident? Banks thrive when their customers are confused. If you do not understand how interest compounds on debt, you are more likely to rack up balances. If you do not know about investment opportunities, you are more likely to leave your savings earning almost nothing in a bank account. Financial ignorance is profitable. That is why banks will spend millions on advertising credit cards but almost nothing on teaching people how to manage money. They want you in the dark. They want you guessing. Because when you do not know the rules of the game, they win every time. If you have made it this far and want to keep learning, make sure you follow this channel. John Austin covers financial truths that most people never hear. Secret number 14. Banks rely entirely on your trust. At the end of the day, the entire banking system rests on one fragile thing: trust. You believe your money is in the bank and that you can withdraw it at any moment. But if everyone tried to withdraw their money at the same time, the system would collapse overnight. This has happened before. It is called a bank run. Crowds of people rush to pull out their savings, only to discover that the bank does not actually have the money. Because remember, most of your money has already been lent out or invested. The illusion works as long as people believe in it. The moment that trust breaks, everything falls apart. This is why banks work so hard to appear solid, secure, and permanent. Marble floors, massive buildings, and friendly commercials. All of it is designed to maintain your belief. Because once you stop believing, the entire system trembles. Now you know. 14 financial secrets that banks do not want you to know. From hidden fees to manufactured money. From loopholes for the rich to a system built not to enrich you, but to enrich the banks. Does this mean you should fear banks? Not necessarily, but it means you should open your eyes. Do not assume the bank is your friend. Do not assume it will make you wealthy. Understand the rules of the game. Learn to play it yourself. Because banks always keep secrets. But now you know at least some of them. And knowledge is the first step toward freedom. If you really want to go deeper and learn more about how money actually works, remember that knowledge is your greatest asset. So, follow this channel, leave a comment below telling me which of these 14 secrets hit you the hardest, and let us keep learning together. Subscribe, and see you in the next one. Just a reminder, John Austin is an economist sharing information for educational purposes only. This video does not constitute financial advice. Any results depend entirely on your own decisions and actions.